This is Aria. So this is our flagship humanoid AI-powered robot. So she can be programmed to know you and learn more about you. She can make that bond with you that feels like a genuine human connection. They don't do physical labor, but they're more there to converse with you. It's companionship. They can actually even be a boyfriend or a girlfriend. So we have built that into our AI as well.
Programmed to be boyfriend or girlfriend, but I can't get no head. The most popular tech conference came and went this January, and there was some new innovative things that came out. I'm not gonna nerd it up too much here because you know I can get into it, but some of the most innovative things that have come out, not helping people, I don't know, that are blind that can't see, not helping people who can't walk, literally a sex robot. I think this whole situation is strange because you think that the answer to teen loneliness in today's day and age is literally having these people spend more time with robots and things of that nature. I think this is doing literally the opposite. This is disjoining people from the world as a whole. Now, obviously, I'm not saying that this isn't some obstacle or hurdle that young people are facing in today's society. With more people going to school online, jobs are still remote, people are closing down malls left, right, and sideways. There's no skating rink to be seen. Kids are not interacting. Young adults are not interacting. People just aren't interacting as they once were. And I know a lot of people would say, well, Omar, you can make a friend online. You can date online. People find love that way. But I'm sorry, there has to be a correlation between how much we've advanced in technology, how much we've advanced in robotics, how much we've taken away from the youth as far as places and spaces for them to interact in, and also the correlation between that and loneliness. Like, there has to be something there. And these numbers don't just affect the youth. We're talking about 58% of adults, older adults in 2019 reported that they had nobody in their life that knew them for real. And so all these studies and data and research tell the people that are making the big tech bucks, hey, why don't I create some sort of alternative for that, human interaction, that touch, that feel? Why don't I put some rubber on some robot, put a wig on it, and make it human?
Tell me more about Realbotics.
Manufactures customizable robots with a focus on enhancing human experiences in various environments like homes and healthcare.
Now, I believe that this philosophy behind this problem or a way to solve it is like totally misplaced. This is simply what happens when capitalism meets love. And I think that there's a bunch of different places and spaces in which this conversation could go. Maybe there's some sort of conversation to be had about a control factor that men are seeking that women can't fulfill in today's society because feminism told them to be independent, so they've decided to get some sort of robot in action. And then you have the women counteracting that same sort of conversation or talking point by saying the men in that dating pool who do want, some sort of robot interaction aren't necessarily a part of their dating pool at all. But ultimately, I see an agent that is going to break apart and create a bigger gender divide than I've ever seen before.
You can connect the AI that you've created in the app to the robot and carry on the conversation with her that way. Once you've got that loaded and you hit chat, she just comes to life.
Good you came back so fast, baby. I'm glad you came back that fast. Wow, baby. 10 minutes without you seems like an eternity.
I just find it so amazing that anytime there's a male developer in a room of somewhere, whether it be a video game, whether it be a TV show, whether it be a movie, or whether it be the robots that are supposed to solve companionship, you can clearly tell. It's going to be right on their chest. You can obviously tell that a male was involved in this. Dating isn't the same game as your grandfather or grandma once had it. You don't go to somebody's house, ask their parents for, their daughter in a night out on the town, and you take 2 quarters and you go to the sock hop or the soda parlor and you spend a nickel and you get, I don't know, some Chuck Berry on the juke joint before white people tell you don't sit at your counter. But in all seriousness, online dating is the new trend. Beauty standards have rose. Online perceptions of datings are running rampant, and it's making it just so much harder than it's ever been in the past.
Let's keep it real. For the average person who is making $50,000, that's a good person. What does dating look like for them?
So if you're making $50,000, don't date. I'm just being for real. You're not ready to date.
Again, I'm with you when
you're not ready to date. So if you don't have any expendable cash, don't date. And whatever that looks like for you, you might only make $50,000, but you live in a shoe, and now you got expendable cash.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm not saying you gotta pay to play to be with a woman. I'm simply saying courtship costs.
Right.
It is not free
It's
to
not.
date. Like, fellas, if you're broke, don't date. You're not ready to date yet. Or get you a bottom of the barrel bitch that's gonna date you when you have no money.
But as standards become harder and harder, higher and higher for both men and women, I can only see this as a more viable and reasonable option to people. At least they're gonna try to justify it that way. I see things on the internet about men that have to come and compete with other men who have outrageously great tricking tendencies, like $2,700 for one day or lunch or whatever the case may be. Women who eat 20,000 oysters for lunch and act like that's the norm. And hell, 100K is now the new 50 25K if you ask the internet. There's some people that believe that you shouldn't even be able to date if you don't start at a certain financial threshold.
Never ever date men who are below you. In the end, if a guy is below you, eventually he will start becoming jealous of you because men need to feel successful. Men need to feel like protectors of the family, okay? And if he feels like you are superior to him, he's gonna be so jealous of you, and it's gonna be your fault.
And then on the flip side of that, you have all the women who need to have BBLs, who need to go 47 rounds, who need to be ultra submissive, who need to shut up and be baby making machines. The internet has turned dating into a whole new landscape that honestly, I can say I am super glad to be engaged because I don't even want to deal with it. Look, I'm very, very optimistic about the dating pool, specifically where I live in Atlanta, Georgia. But I cannot hide the fact that people's own prejudice puts like a roadblock and adversity in the way of them getting into the dating game. When you consume content like Kevin Samuels and you're evaluating every man to be a high value male or not based off of finances, height, status, and dick size, or if you're consuming this Myron and Byron fresh and fit content where they're describing women as whores and thoughts, and if they have 2 body counts or DM men, you're already on the lower end of the spectrum and you have to gain a certain amount of money behind it. Or if you consume any of these female content creators as a woman that tell you don't go have fun at a club, don't do this, don't get a tattoo, don't do that, it's all gonna make you seem more like a hoe and not ladylike and hell even low vibrational. All these things have changed in my time of being out of the dating game, and it's only exacerbated people's perception. I don't know what I would be if I was single currently. I'd probably be out here on the hose. Maybe, I don't know, but I know it would be a hard time because I probably would let the internet consume me as well.
When asked why she was fired from Humanix, she explains it was because she provided her brother-in-law with the intimacy companion without following proper procedures and protocols. She adds that her sister had pleaded for help to save her marriage, which is why she sent the robot to John. Back at the house, one day after a run, Megan sees John and Eve in the greenhouse discussing
making love. What is she mad about? You bought me this for this reason. What now?
It's crazy because that voiceover is AI detaching you from real life storytellers that work good at the craft. The double entendre there. Recently, there's been a couple of different movies that have played out scenarios like that. I saw Subservience, the Megan Fox movie, or that AI movie where the guy is married to a Siri or falls in love with a Siri, and they all ultimately end up bad. But in every single one of those examples, it shows how this robotic connection or this attachment to online or this attachment to your phone or any sort of detachment from human existence can make it so much harder for you to attach to a human experience. It goes to show that the more that you consume online rhetoric, the more that you consume these TikTok videos or these fake dating stories or experiences of other people that are obviously exaggerated, fake, or something that would never happen to you, can ultimately skew your perspective as to how you view others in today's society. And it doesn't just stop at dating. Your experience on the computer screen can shape how you experience people at your job, can experience people at the park, can experience people at the gas station, to the point where you're so nervous and on edge and don't like to interact with people because you think the worst of any and everybody. Hell, in a video that I just put out not too long ago, there was a video of a woman getting afraid of a black man following her in a truck, and I can only think that a lot of her fears were heightened based off of social media and her just being racist. But this is why I'm saying don't get attached to AI, don't get attached to the online rhetoric, don't get attached to none of it, because your whole dating life depends on you not being so attached to that internet rhetoric.